My name is Danny Park, and I am the most important crew member on the Keshari merchant vessel Thousand Winds. I know this because the captain told me so right before she locked me in the engine room for the third time this week. It's not a punishment, it's job security. I'm the only person on this ship who can fix the number 3 plasma relay, and I fix it with a piece of a food container and what the crew has started calling Danny's magic stick, which is a wrench. The Keshari have 12 PhD equivalent engineers on board. None of them thought to hit the relay with a wrench. I hit everything with a wrench. It works about 60% of the time, and that makes me a wizard. I ended up on the Thousand Winds because I answered a job posting that said engineer needed, experience with improvised repairs preferred. I assumed it was a mining rig. It was an alien merchant ship. The Keshari are 7 feet tall, 4-armed, and culturally incapable of understanding why you would fix something with anything other than the manufacturer-approved replacement part. Their engineering philosophy is elegant, precise, and completely useless when you're 3 weeks from the nearest supply depot and the water recycler sounds like a cat in a blender. That's where I come in. My engineering philosophy is if it's stupid and it works, it isn't stupid. The first crisis happened in week 2. The primary coolant manifold cracked, hairline fracture. The Keshari chief engineer declared it non-functional and recommended a 3-day repair cycle using parts we didn't have. I looked at the crack. I looked at my lunch. I chewed a piece of gum, pressed it into the fracture, wrapped it with heat-resistant tape from the kitchen, and told the chief to turn the system back on. She stared at me like I'd suggested solving a theorem by throwing dice. The gum held. For 6 weeks, the primary coolant manifold was sealed with spearmint chewing gum. When the Keshari technician at the supply depot opened the panel, he was silent for a very long time. Then he said, "Does this work?" And I said, "For 6 weeks." He took a photograph. Within 3 months, the crew had a system. Whenever something broke, they would try the proper Keshari solution first. When that failed, they'd knock on the engine room door and say, "Danny, the thing is doing the thing again." And I would come out with my wrench, my tape, and whatever food product seemed structurally appropriate. The navigation computer glitched. I kicked it. Fixed. The cargo bay door wouldn't seal. I wedged a boot in the mechanism. Fixed. The artificial gravity generator was fluctuating. I opened the panel, found a loose connection, and held it in place with a binder clip. The chief engineer watched me do this with an expression I can only describe as religious horror. The captain started introducing me to other captains at port. "This is Danny," she'd say. "He is my human, he fixes things." Within 6 months, I was getting offers from other ships. Triple salary, private quarters. I turned them all down. The Thousand Winds was my ship. I didn't own it. I wasn't captain. I was the weird little mammal they kept in the engine room. But every system had a piece of my lunch holding it together. You don't abandon a ship that's 50% duct tape and human stubbornness. That's practically family. The real test came during a pirate attack. Keshari pirates. An electromagnetic pulse fried every system on board. Everything. The chief said the ship was dead. 12 PhD engineers agreed. I went to the engine room. I bypassed the main power grid using emergency lighting. I rerouted life support through cargo refrigeration. I got navigation online by cannibalizing the entertainment system. We lost movie night permanently. The weapons were completely fried. So I overloaded the external sensor array and turned it into a makeshift pulse emitter. I hit the pirate ship with their own weapon. The chief asked how I knew that would work. I said I didn't. She said, "You risked the ship on a guess." I said, "I risked the ship on a guess every time I use gum as a sealant. This was just a bigger piece of gum." We survived. The pirates didn't. The Thousand Winds limped into port trailing sparks and held together with what the repair dock described as the most creative misuse of a food-grade polymer they had ever encountered. I've been on the Thousand Winds for 4 years now. Every new crew member gets the orientation. The chief shows them the engine room and says, "This is Danny. He is a human. He fixes things in ways that should not work but do. Do not question his methods. Do not touch his wrench and never eat his gum." Last month, a Keshari engineering journal published a paper about me. The title was "Improvised Repair Methodologies, a Case Study in Human Problem Solving." I'm told it's the most downloaded paper in their history. I haven't read it. I've been busy. The number 3 plasma relay is making that noise again.